Okay, so let's get started. So first things first, what we're going to cover in our getting started with essential oils is blending. A lot of people actually get a bit scared about blending, but it's a very easy thing to do. So I'm going to teach you a really, really easy trick. So simply by taking a few oils, and here, this is one of my most favourite blends. I've got lemongrass, bergamot, and lavender. So this is pretty much what I call my awesomeness blend, because in here, the oils that are contained in here are very, very soothing, calming, but also really supportive emotionally. They actually help lift us up. And also with using lemongrass, it actually helps us move forward. So not only are we emotionally supported by our lavender because it's a soother and it's pretty much like a mama hug, but we have our beautiful bergamot, which is our uplifter. She's our bright light on a, cloudy day. And then we have beautiful lemongrass, and this is just going to say, you know what, let's just move forward anything that we're stuck on and let's just go. So when we're making up a mix and you want to pick a few oils out and you mix them all together but they don't smell quite right, or maybe one is stronger than the other, then this is how you actually change them around. So I'm going to show you first with two oils. So I'll move a little bit closer so you guys can actually see me. So we've got our two oils here. So I've got lemongrass and lavender. Now, we know that lemongrass is a very, very strong oil. So what we're going to do is adjust it so our lemongrass isn't as strong and we get an even smell. Because if we smell lemongrass and lavender together, so if you have the two, get them out now, and smell them together, you can smell that lemongrass is really quite overpowering. So here's the trick. You've got the two oils. If you want to lower the smell of lemongrass, you simply drop the bottle down, which means you're increasing the drops of lemongrass. Increasing the drops of lavender. So at the moment, this would be equal drops. If you drop lemongrass down by one to the bottom of where the screws are, the screw cap lid on the bottle, then you've got literally 2 drops of lavender to 1 drop of lemongrass. So then give it a smell. Oh, okay, but you can still see that lemongrass is maybe just a little bit still strong. So we're going to drop it down a little bit more. But this time from the end of where the black ring sits really, where it's like when you screw off the lid, you've got the little black ring left. So that's your first drop down. Your second drop down is to the top where the bottle curves. So that means we've now got 3 lavender drops to 1 lemongrass. And if you smell that, you can see it's more of an equal smell. So this is the trick of blending. The more you drop it down, the more it increases. So at the moment, if they're level, they're equal drops. If you drop it down by 1, you're increasing the top one by 1 drop, which means it's 2 to 1. Drop it down 1 more, 3 to 1. And if you still want to keep going and you drop it down again, then you've almost got a complete equal blend there of smell. So you can actually see if you do 4 drops of lavender to 1 drop of lemongrass, you've pretty much got an equal scent of both of them. And that's because lemongrass is such a strong and vivacious oil. So this is how we work out blending. It's this simple. So then if we actually add another into the blend, so if anyone's got these, they can try. If not, I really suggest you get these oils because it's a beautiful blend. It's what I like to call my signature blend. So this is your lavender, your lemongrass, and your bergamot. So, and smell them all together. It's a real harmonious balance. But if I was to chuck something else in here, like maybe a lang lang, well, lang lang's a really, really strong oil. Oof, she's got a power on her own. you wouldn't have her equal with all the rest because she would overtake the smell. So what you would do is keep all of these equal, but then maybe drop Lang Lang down by 1. So if you do that, then you pretty much know that all these oils here to create this smell, see how I've just dropped Lang Lang down by 1? Then you know that you've got 2, 2, 2, and then just 1 of Lang Lang. And that would be your blend. Now see, that's really nice. So does everyone understand the blending, that we simply just drop 1 bottle down, and if we wave it under our nose, that's the true smell we're going to get in a diffuser, in a moisturiser, in a carpet freshener, anything that we're trying to create. So a lot of times you're going to see blends pop up on the feeds, on the Facebook pages, and all you simply do is just drop it down to what suits you. And that's how you know what's happening with your oil. So once again, because it can take a while to get this, and I truly understand, when the bottles are equal, it's equal drops. Okay, if we want to drop lemongrass by 1, we drop it down to the top of the little black ring, and then basically you've got 2 lavender to 1. If you drop it down to the top of the curve of the bottle, then you've got 3 lavender to 1. If you drop it down a fraction more to the top of where the doTERRA sticker is, then you've basically got 4 to 1. So that's how we work with blending. And then just always remember, when you're smelling your blends, wave them around, because when we put them in a diffuser, they actually come out in a mist combined. So it's not just like this, 1 up each nostril. Wave it around, get a good smell for it, because that's how it's going to come out in a product or in a diffuser. So that's the simple points of blending. So has everyone got their favourite oils that they want to put together for a moisturiser? Because we're going to do a moisturiser now. So I'm basically going to create a moisturiser base just with Lang Lang and lavender. This is another beautiful blend. And if all of you didn't know, Lang Lang is now back in stock. There's one thing I love about doTERRA, that if the land is damaged or the stock is damaged, they still don't harvest from it. They wait until it's sustainable again, and then they'll actually go forth. So they're very thoughtful when it comes to the land. So we've got lavender and Lang Lang. We're going to create a basic moisturiser. So pick 2 of your favourite oils, even just 1 of your oils. What we're going to do is we're going to get our little cup. We're going to get some doTERRA fractionated coconut oil. So basically, when it comes down to using oils, and this is what I call a carrier oil. The reason why it's called a carrier oil is because it carries the oil further. And not only that, it actually helps carry the essence itself of the oil and traps it before it actually evaporates. So what we've got, doTERRA's fractionated coconut oil is brilliant. It's fractionated means that they've taken out the fatty chains, so it's not actually going to solidify, and it doesn't have an odour. I actually like using the fractionated coconut oil because I find it sinks into the skin very, very quickly and it doesn't stain, which to me is really important, because most of the time when I'm running out the door, I just slap oils on left, front and centre. So quite often if I'm using an olive oil or something like that, I will actually stain my clothes. But you do have your different oils you can use. Olive oil is actually a good oil to use. It's really warming for the muscles, so it's a great one to use for the muscles. But just be aware that it might take about 6 minutes to actually sink into the skin fully. The other carrier oils you've got is jojoba. You've also got grapeseed oil, rosehip oil. So jojoba and rosehip oil are also very similar to the skin sebum, which means they actually penetrate the skin very easily. But they're actually more expensive and prized oils. Another one I actually like using is sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is actually great for the skin. It's actually got vitamin D and E in it, but it's actually one of the oils you also use to combine to make your own natural sunscreen with a few of the carrier oils. So we're going to get our fractionated coconut oil, and I hope everyone's got their tablespoons. It looks like one of my children has run off with the only tablespoon that I had in my house. So I'm just basically going to do it via a little medicine measuring cup, which you can use as well. So what we're basically going to do is show you the quick and easy way to create a moisturiser. So you're just going to actually pour some oil into your tablespoon, put it into your cup. Now, always make sure that you're using a glass cup or a china cup, a tea cup, just not a plastic one, okay? And then what we're going to do is add our oils. Now, if we're doing 10 mils and a tablespoon is 20 mils, so you can double it. But for every 10 mils, we're doing 5 drops of oil. So if you're using a tablespoon, that's 20 mils, so you're literally putting 10 drops in, if you like. If you find you're using 2 oils that smell really, really strong, so say if you were to use a ylang ylang and a lemongrass together, they are really high concentrate oils and have a very, very high odour. So you wouldn't need to put 10 drops in, I can tell you that, guys. Oh, that's a nice blend. I might mix that one. But what you would do is you decrease them because they're actually very, very strong oils. So, but if you want to put the full 10 drops in, you're welcome to. So just go ahead and actually mix that together now. You've got 20 mils in there, so you're doing 10 drops. Now, for those of you that haven't heard about aromatic dressing, I'm just going to give that a quick little, a really brief explanation. So aromatic dressing is basically applying moisturiser on a daily basis. And the reason why we do this is actually, 1, because it gives us beautiful skin, but 2, it's actually quite stimulating to our system. And the other one I like to think of as well, it gives us a sense of where our bodies are in relation to every day going around. So instead of just running out the door, we've taken time to actually nurture ourselves and we know where we are. So basically when it comes to aromatic dressing, it's usually as simple as mixing something like this up, and then you start from the bottom of your legs and you basically wipe up your legs on each side, not forgetting the sides of your legs, your bottom, your stomach, your boobs, your arms, up the sides, because you have lymphatics up here and they don't have a pump. So if you can rub up, it's really good to actually help the lymphatic system. Up your neck. So by doing this, you're actually stimulating oxygen flow into muscles, actually getting any excess dead skin off, as gross as that sounds, but also having a beautiful experience. And trust me, I have 2 kids and a very active business. I don't have time to muck around, so it's very quick and simple. So now that we've made our beautiful moisturiser, has everyone tried their moisturiser? Because I'm definitely trying some of this. So I've just put together lemongrass and ylang ylang. Oh, that is delicious. Okay. So once you've used some of your moisturiser and you haven't used it all, don't despair. As long as you seal this, it will last for quite a while. So my quick and easy tip is just simple Glad wrap. If you don't like using Glad wrap, you can use an old plastic bag with lucky bags and that around it. Just make sure that the odour can't escape, because essential oils actually evaporate. And that's what will happen. You'll be left with a carrier oil with no smell. So if you just put a bit of Glad wrap, plastic bag with lucky bands, whichever you choose, the most important thing I always say, label your moisturiser. Because it would be terrible for someone to drink this. It would be a waste. I would rather have it on my body. So we're going to write on the top of this in a permanent marker, Mummy's moisturiser, do not touch. Especially if you have young kids like I do. My son's only 7 and finds everything fascinating. And then on here you can pretty much then write what you've used, because unless you have a little notebook for your blends, which is a really good idea, guys, just a little notebook, write down what blends you like, what smells you like, then you're best writing it on whatever you've created, because more than likely sometimes when you go back, you've actually forgotten what you've created. And that can be a very sad thing indeed. So that's how quick and easy it is to make our beautiful moisturiser. As some of you know, you can actually also put it in a blue spritzer bottle, but if you don't have time, you just want to whip something together, then you can put it in a glass. I try and show everyone and empower them on the most simplest way to get going with essential oils. You don't need spritzer bottles and all that. You just basically need a glass cup. So next I'm going to talk about, anyone have any questions? If you do, now is the time to unmute and ask me a quick question if you have one.
Michelle, I just offer to use a jar, but I haven't got the lid because I wasn't sure what you were going to use it for. But is there any problem with using just a normal jar with a lid? No,
you can use a jar. Tonight I teach with, but yeah, by all means, go find yourself a really nice
fine. Yep, cool.
Absolutely. Just make sure it's glass, and just watch out. Got one of the ones that has a rubber seal, because if you get essential oils on the rubber seal, it will start to perish it, because essential oils seek out synthetic and dissolve.
Okay.
So they don't yeah. So you might find that it'll actually stick to the jar and you won't be able to open it. But using a jar is fine. But just for tonight, I literally want people just to grab what they have in their kitchen to show you how easy it is. But yeah, jars, spritzer bottles. I actually have about maybe 8 to 10 different spritzer bottles with different blends. And when I get out of the shower, I just decide which one I'm going to pick. Most of the time, it's like a frankincense mix or something like that. But yeah, I have my favourites. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to label the spritzer bottles in a minute, because you don't have fancy labels for those either. Remember, it's on the fly. It's what's, and ready-made. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering, if you've got different size bottles, does that make a difference with smelling them, like in terms of the levels? So if you've got a 5 ml next to a 15 ml, is it the same?
I usually, if you've got like a 15 ml and a 5 ml, you can still drop it down by the same increments.
Okay.
So even if you've got like a lemongrass, oh, that smells nice. A lemongrass and a cinnamon. Oh, that's really nice. Actually, they're really nice as an equal, but the same would go. If you're trying to make one stronger, just drop it down by the ring size, then by the level, and then by a bit more. Okay, it works the same. So, oh, I must remember that one. But very good question. And once again, there's no exact science to it, but roughly that equals 1 drop per one with odor-wise, and you'll find that you'll create pretty much what you smell. Okay, so let's go on to dispersing oils. So next we're going to make a hand sanitizer, but I want to show you or explain to you different ways that you can actually disperse oil through water. Because if you don't, normally the oil will just sit on the top of water, right? Because usually oil doesn't disperse in water. So when I'm making up a quick hand sanitizer, I don't put anything in it because I know I need to shake it. So I pretty much shake it every time, because that will give it a quick disbursement, and then I can just spray it on. But here are a few things that will help you disperse. So you've got, number one, you've actually got a dispersing agent. Some of the online shops like Sydney Essential Oil Company or New Directions will literally have what's called a dispersant agent. I don't bother with it because it's actually quite expensive when you can use actual stuff from your home. So another thing that actually disperses the oils is vinegar. So you can actually use vinegar in with water and actually disperse that way. It's really, really good for your cleaning substances because vinegar adds to your cleaning power. What I use in my dishwasher for my rinse aid is actually vinegar, white vinegar and lemon. And I use that as my rinse aid. And for the tablets, I use On Guard Concentrate Cleaner. If you haven't tried that yet, you really should, guys. It is an absolute brilliant cleaning. I'm just going to see if I have one, because I normally always have one floating around in my stock. No, not today. So your On Guard Cleaner Concentrate is exactly that, and it comes in a big bottle. It's about $18 on your wholesale account. It will replace every other single cleaner you have, including your dishwashing detergent, your dishwashing tablets. You can actually use it to clean your floors, your windows, everything else. If you, like me, sometimes I like to make up my own paste and that for my sink using baking soda and that, then go for it. But sometimes I don't have time, and I'll just use my On Guard Cleaner Concentrate, especially for my dishwasher, because it's good for grey water as well. So getting back to dispersements, vinegar is another one. Another one we use is actually vodka. So vodka is a really quick and easy dispersing agent, and basically you don't need to use that much of it. So usually if you're putting it in a bottle like this, you would just put maybe about 10 to 15 ml in the bottom, and then put your oils in. So I usually go a ml per drop when it comes to using vodka as a dispersing agent. Great for a hand sanitizer, but if you're going to do that, just make sure you add some aloe vera gel or juice to actually combat the alcohol drying out the hands. But I don't normally use it. I don't find it necessary. My kids use my hand sanitizer, so I just prefer to stick to water and On Guard. What have we also got? So you've also got salts, Epsom salts. So what you can do is you put your Epsom salts in the bottom of the jar first, put the oils on the Epsom salts, wait till they actually really sink in and absorb the Epsom salts, then add the water. Okay, and you can add the water slightly just lukewarm, so it'll dissolve the Epsom salts, and then that'll disperse the oils naturally throughout. The other one we've got is if you're making any kind of bath, oils for the bath, you can actually use full cream milk. You can actually use what they call a H2O oil, which is a water dispersible oil. It's a carrier oil itself. The other name for it is red turkey oil. It's not from turkeys, but it's called red turkey oil for some unknown reason. But it's also another one. So you can actually put essential oils into that, and it actually naturally evenly disperses through water. So it's usually called a H2O oil or red turkey oil. And you can actually get those from Sydney Essential Oil Company or New Directions. I think Range Products and Welshpool also have them, and I'm not sure if the Aussie Soap Supplies have them. That's also in Perth. I'm not sure about that one. So that's how we disperse oils. So always remember with essential oil safety, if we get oils anywhere we don't want them, like if we accidentally touch our eyes or we accidentally use the wrong oil making a deodorant, wipe an oil away with an oil. So use a carrier oil to wipe away the essential oil. Don't splash water in there because it's actually going to push it further in. So it just works very well if you just wipe it out. So let's get down to how easy it is to make our hand sanitizer. So everyone grab their On Guard. And everyone should have got their blue spritzers by now. If you guys aren't aware, myself and my husband Andrew, we're actually the Aussie essential oil business. So we supply the blue spritzers and a lot of the other things to pretty much everywhere in Australia. We have a lot of fun, and the reason why we started doing that is because we were paying too much for these, and I said to my husband, how can everyone readily afford to make stuff in their home if the accessories were going to cost a lot of money? So we order them in 10,000 lots, just so everyone can have them pretty much at a wholesale bulk price. All right, so in a 30 ml spritzer, once again, for every 10 ml of substance, you do 5 oil drops. So in 30 mils, you're looking at 15 drops. So let's put 15 drops in. And the one thing I was told last time that I forgot on the list was actually water. So sorry, guys. You can either add the water later or add it now. I did have my water bottle somewhere, so I'm just going to tip mine in. And the best thing about this is you can make mess and it doesn't matter. Yeah, sorry if you've all had to run off for water, guys.
Michelle, what's the rate for vinegar dispersal
So
in terms of drops? Yeah.
Vinegar would be pretty much the same. I always usually stick 1 drop to 1 ml of a dispersing agent. You can use, if you're doing cleaning, a lot of people just use straight vinegar with the oils, which is fine, but depending on the grade of vinegar, and believe it or not, there are grades of vinegar. Like if you're going to go out and buy $2 white vinegar, it is going to be a $2 white vinegar, which means the vinegar smell is going to stick around for a long time. If you buy, more expensive vinegar, you will find that it has less of an odour for longer. I've picked up a real cheap vinegar once and the smell's stuck around forever.
And
So,
any particular vinegars or?
there's actually one that I get that's a white vinegar. I think it has like a little leaf on it. It's just plain white one with a white label. That's the one I like to use, and I've noticed that it has low odour dilution.
Okay, apple cider vinegar?
I wouldn't use apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is our health tonic. That's for
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've got so much of it. So just use a white vinegar or.
Yeah, if you want to use your apple cider vinegar to create like a gargle or a health tonic with the oils, then you're looking at the same. You're looking at 5 drops per 10 ml. All right? But also go to your ingestion table as well. There's a table for the amount of drops that you should be ingesting per day. But when it comes
Where is that? Where is that? Because I've been given none of this information.
I've actually got that chart on the Born Awesome Facebook page. Is everyone on the Born Awesome Facebook page? If you're not, I can see heads going no. If everyone at some stage can type their email into the chat feed, who's present now, then I will know to check to make sure you have been added. And then you'll get an invite via your messages. So please make sure that you check your junk mail as well, okay? Because sometimes it goes off to your junk mail. And then I'll include you in the Born Awesome Bunch page. And that's where I usually put all the dilution charts and ingesting charts and any other little bits and pieces or events that I'm doing. So I've just finally worked out modern technology. I must admit, I prefer to go out and help people. Computers and me just don't really mix that well, and I have a tendency to kill off any electrical device I have within 12 months. But that's okay. But I try. So I'm now literally I've just set up my web page and I'm just doing all the Zoom and that. It's only taken me 1.5 years, and I think that's quite good for me. All right. So I will add you all to the Born Awesome, and then any other information that you want I can email to you later as well. As long as you just put your email addresses up on the chat feed, that's who I'll send it to. So we have our little hand sanitizer ready. Now, how do we label these guys? Everyone thinks you have to go out and buy fancy labels and all the rest of it. You don't have to at all. There is a very simple way to do this, and it is simply by having a piece of paper and some sticky tape. So this sticky tape here, which is the perfect size for our bottles, is $2 from Kmart. Absolutely love this stuff. But if you have the skinnier stuff, just wrap it around a couple of times. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to look fancy because it's only for you guys. If you're giving them as presents, by all means, go out and get the beautiful labels. But I would still put sticky tape over them anyway, because unless you get them professionally printed and they're waterproof, they're still going to go like a clear colour. All right, so let's write what we've got on here. So it's basically just a hand And then we're going to put 15 of our On Guard, 30 ml, and then we're going to cut it out. So remember what I was saying before, that when you create blends, write on there what you've put in there. Because lo and behold, if you do not do that and it's a really beautiful blend, or maybe you've added something extra to your hand sanitizer, if you can't identify the smell, it's gone. And I've done it before where I haven't been able to recreate the smell. So that is one of my biggest hints to you guys. Except for folding over the ends on sticky tape so you can actually find where they begin again. So, and then all we do, don't you love that? $2 from Kmart, guys. Is basically stick it on the label, get your bottle, and stick it on. And there is your beautiful hand sanitizer. And I really like this because these guys are hardy. I love our blue bottles. So this actually goes in our bag. Now, true, I must give away about 3 of these a week to whoever I come across, especially mums that have little babies in food halls, in those disgusting high chairs. And you see them trying to wipe them down, just like that is just gross. So I offer them, you know, here's a natural cleaning spray that'll get rid of all those yuckies on there. And they say, oh, well, that's fabulous. I end up saying, just keep them. So, because I think it's such a valuable natural tool that's actually not going to affect their immune systems. So did everyone love the little hand sanitizer? Okay, I'm going to give you a minute. Does anyone have any questions? Awesome. No one has questions. I must have explained brilliantly.
I've got a quick one. Sorry, I wanted to give everyone else a chance. Just a date. Is there a use by date on any of these things?
Usually, you go by the dates on the bottles. Okay? So say if you've got 2 bottles that are together and you take it by the shortest date possible. So if you've got one that expires in 2018 and one that expires in 2019, you always go by the one that's there in 2018. But other than that, no. Unless the liquid that you've got it sitting in has an expiry date in itself. So say if you're using some kind of other organic matter in there. So if you're making up your own face scrubs and you're using maybe almond meal, that's beautiful as a face scrub, almond meal, then that's only going to have a couple of days because it's literally a food. So they're the only things you need to worry about. So if you're doing like, you're creating, say, hair mousse. Does everyone know that you can create your own hair mousse out of egg whites? It's brilliant. You can create your own natural organic hair mousse using egg whites and essential oils. But that stuff's only going to last a couple of days or a special occasion. So it's not something I would have sitting in the fridge for, 3 weeks because it's actually a food, it's an organic. So essential oils are different because the chemical molecules that they actually have in there are antibacterial and antioxidizing, which means they actually preserve themselves and some of the other things that you're putting in. So for instance, the water that you've actually put the hand sanitizer in, nothing's going to go bad in that because the essential oils that are in there will actually inhibit any kind of nasties growing in there. Okay, so let's see what we're moving on to. Carpet freshener. This is my favourite. Also, a brilliant freshener for anything smelly. So, smelly fridges, smelly drawers, teenagers' wardrobes that just have goodness knows what hiding in there wherever. Shoes. Now, I'm not saying I have smelly shoes, okay? Mine's carpet freshener only. Says me who has some shoes sitting out there at the moment. So this is one of my favourite simple ones because all you're going to take is just 2 household items. So we have our good old baking soda, our bicarb. This stuff's brilliant. We all know how good this is. So this is my simple recipe. Now, I want to show you guys this because this is quite incredible. This here, if you can see it up close, See that? It's a little glass jar. Okay. It's a salt and pepper shaker set from Kmart that has the little holes on the top for $2 for a pair. So I love using these. See how you've got the holes in the top? Hang on, let me get it. There you go. So you've got one for salt and one for pepper. Because for these to be really effective for carpet freshener, you need to leave it for 24 hours for the oils to soak through the bicarb. So these are just like $2 for a set of two. So I actually pre-do them. We've got little puppies, so I also sprinkle it on their beds. So the good thing about bicarb and essential oils, one, they're actually really good for neutralising odour. Two, antifungal, antibacterial. These suckers will kill anything that's floating around. And then three, your bicarb or your bicarb soda or baking soda is actually an excess moisture. So it soaks up excess moisture, which takes the odour with it. So this is why I like using this. The other thing is it doesn't stain. There's no nasties in it. I don't know if you guys have ever looked on the back of carpet fresheners and seen what is in them, but what a lot of people aren't aware of is what synthetics actually do to our neurochemistry, especially our children. So you really don't want to actually be putting that stuff on the carpet, because every time you tread on it, you've got those synthetics coming up and we're breathing them in more and more. So it's really good to do it the natural way. So all we're going to do is we've got half a cup. I'm going to show you guys some good tricks tonight. And then we've got, now you don't have to put this in a container now. I'm just showing you the basic way to do it, because once again, you can actually store it in a bowl and that would be it. So we're going to do our half a cup. So we're just going to spoon that. Now to half a cup of your bicarb, basically you want 20 drops in there. Now I'm telling you now, go your citruses, your lemongrasses, Purify if you have it. My goodness, Purify might be an American only oil at the moment, but oh my goodness, is it great for pet odor. Absolutely fabulous for pet odor. So you can see I'm just kind of, and these little jars too from Kmart, they hold just under half a cup. So you can make the blend up and then put it in the little shaker and give it away as gifts. So usually when I make this one up, if I'm not using it myself, I actually pass it on to my mum or my nana. Because we've all got a bit of carpet in our house, right? So we just put it in our bowl. Pick the oils that you're going to use. I'm going to go lemon, orange and grapefruit, I think. A little lot there as well. So 20 drops. So I've got 4 oils I'm putting in here, which are all citruses because they're great as odor neutralizers. And I'm just going to put 5 drops of each. Now watch out for your citruses, guys. We know that they pour out really fast. And as much as we love them, we don't want to be putting too much in there when it's not necessary. Remember, little is more. My kids love helping me with this. And then we're going to do a bit of stirring. So we're basically just going to get a fork in there. So it doesn't matter if you've actually got lumpy baking soda. You don't need to whisk it out first because we're going to do that right now. We're just going to go through and make sure that we just fork through all the oil. So just mash it up with the fork and get it stirred through and squish it up, because you'll notice the drops, they go into little lumps when you put them in with the baking soda. So we're just going to stir them through a little bit. Oh my goodness, this smells divine. And you can see that is pretty much stirred through. How's everyone going with their creating? Are we all having fun? Okay, that's done. Now, a few tricks. when you're going to put this in a jar, she's frozen.
Hi Mel, how are you?
Okay, how's that? Yep, my volume's up. For some reason I dropped out. And it's telling me my internet connection is stable. But that's okay, you've got me for now, so that's all we need to worry about. All right. And I've lost